Have you ever thought to yourself, I want to be a coach, but how do I determine what a good coach is? Welcome to the Unstuck Podcast. This is part 2 of how to be a good coach. Part 1 is going to give you a lot of foundation, so please go back and see that. Part 2, here we are. We're talking about how to be a good coach. And so far, we've covered communication, getting better at listening, and how you speak and deliver. Number 2, personal development. I like to say a coach needs a coach. A coach should have taken or could take some therapy, not mandatory, but it's definitely a necessity. And then the third one would be personal development. So now we're getting to systems. We touched a little bit on systems, which is how you run the business. SOPs, the standing operating procedures, are what could somebody read and go do and follow to make the same result that you got. That's a little harder because most of the times we're winging it versus having a system or something to follow. So we're going to move on from systems now into the next part. First part was communications. Second part was personal development. And then the third part was system. The fourth part is keeping your eyes open. In the fitness industry, we have seen so many changes from there was an era where bodybuilding was dominant and bodybuilders or bodybuilding as a whole did not respect like things like CrossFit. And then there was the era where CrossFit was taking over. Now, I'm going to say, let's talk about CrossFit for a second because this will help you. The main thing of CrossFit, the idea was amazing to have group training, lower the cost from people not paying personal trainer 5 times a week, but doing it in a group for maybe like $200 to some competition. Where I think it went wrong is honestly that competition began to become toxic. Where I saw it when I coached CrossFit, people would lie about numbers, they would lie about their times, and that became something that got real ugly. You have to be careful with adults and competition because it can get sticky real quick. I think where CrossFit went wrong when they had the CrossFit Games. That was amazing for the sport, but I think it also took out some of the fun for everyday people. And you can argue that if you would like. I don't have time to argue that, but it's cool. But I think where CrossFit really went wrong is a statement that Greg Glassman made during COVID about George Floyd. I think that did a number to it, but we're not going to go there. So we had an era of bodybuilding. We had an era of CrossFit. We have an era now of powerlifting. Every woman is wanting to be strong, which is an amazing thing. That's freaking amazing. And the eras usually change. You could be the coach that says, hey, although these eras change, I'm not going to change my program. And I don't see that being bad or good. I think it's based on you, how you do it. If I were to do it and something was becoming a trend and it was sticking around for a long time, if it was safe, I'd play around with having a class once a week and see what it does. Because you don't know. I've had people come to me just to do fitness boxing that ended up doing strength training also that got results. So you never know how someone's coming to you, and you never know how they're going to stay with you. So if it was me, I keep my eyes open by saying, hey, this is what's happening. If I have the ability, maybe a class once a week, somebody else teaching it, so it's completely off my plate. Now, in your coaching job, if you're doing online stuff, if you're noticing certain subjects are being talked about and coming up a lot, feel free to play around with exploring it, because if you're talking about things that people actually want to talk about, it's a lot easier. It's a ton easier versus this is what I do. I'm sticking to that. I'm not saying you need to change who you are at the core, but I would definitely recommend visiting some of those others topics or other genres of what you do. Right now in the content game, when you're seeing this faceless YouTube channels and faceless Instagram channels are really, really popular. I don't see anything bad or good with it. I just see it as this is something that it is. I'll play around with it maybe, but I actually like showing up as me and using my voice, because now the people who follow me, the people who want to do business with me, they don't have to guess, am I a real person? They don't have to guess, am I AI? and nothing is against AI. They don't have to guess. So I like that for me, not saying that you can't. So you have keeping your eyes open. The next thing I would say is collaborating with other coaches in your field and outside of your field. I've always advocated for this and wish I did more of it in the past. I'm definitely up for it in the future and now. What do I mean by that? If you're a fitness coach, you usually are going to probably handle these couple things under your umbrella. Maybe physical training, maybe some nutrition. What I think you could do is collaborate with like a holistic coach who handles like some mindset stuff, who handles some inner stuff. And I say that because most people only handle a couple things in their industry, but the people who you're coaching is a whole person. So you could literally be helping this person become a better person holistically by having some additional coaches with you. And this can be ran through a program. This can be ran through a cohort. To be a good coach, you have to think about, how do I make my program stronger? How do I make my program more solidified? How do I make my program work well for me and benefit others to solve bigger problems in their lives? I can tell you this now. If you want to be a good coach and your program is strong, when finances start to hit for people and they want to make some big changes, they probably won't leave your program if you're solving big problems for them. I can tell you that now. If you're solving problems for people, it's a lot harder for them to want to leave because you're doing something for them outside of the initial thing that they came to you for. It's the same thing with, let's just say, I always felt that therapists should be collaborating with fitness trainers or chiropractors. Think, who can I collaborate with? Who can I do some partnership with? And I can make it real simple, real clean. I can have a time limit when it ends. But you want to do that to make your program stronger. And I believe most coaches don't think about that. Let's just recap real quick. We talked about communication. We talked about personal development. We talked about systems. We talked about keeping your eyes open, or as they would say, keeping your ears to the street. We talked about collaboration. And then the next one, which is the last one. Yes, there are tons of other ones, but this is the last one that I have that I think is important, is networking. To become a good coach, you want a network of people. And the way that I believe you could do this is see if you can go to some conferences, see if you can go to some meetings. If you have the ability, get into some even some free mastermind groups. You can get into some coaching groups that are specifically made. I have a coaching group called Content Coaching with Coach Drew. Shout out to that, right? That's a group where we're online. We meet through talking in the platform. We have some cohorts. We have some challenges. We help you with content. We help you with getting unstuck with building your community. Things like that help you, and then you get to learn other people. You get to bounce ideas off of other people. You could also think about, if you have the ability, to join a co-working space and go there at times when it's not busy to get your work done, and then go there when it is busy to network with people. As a coach, networking usually would seem like it's not important because you're going to always probably be thinking that I could be doing so much work if I didn't have to do A, B, and C. Yes, but in a way, you want to think, I need to be growing myself, my brand, and finding out what are other people doing and what are other people battling with. If I can realize that, then I can build a better coaching program. I can become a better coach. And down the line, I may need somebody. I may need a plumber. I may need an electrician. I may need a lawyer. I may need a VA. There's limitless options on networking. So if we're recapping again, how to be a good coach, my things are, number one, communication. My second one is personal development. My third one is, I wrote it down. Good thing I wrote it down. Is systems. My fourth one is keeping your ears open, or keeping your eyes open, or keeping your ears to the street. The fifth one, what was the fifth one? I didn't write the fifth one down. Please forgive me. The fifth one is collaboration. Sorry. And then the last one is networking. Now, if you're a coach, no matter what coach you are, I know for a fact content is something that you need and you probably want to build a community. So I just want to put it out there. I do have a community. It's online. As you're seeing this today, it's only $19.99. And there's something that comes out every day. We give you daily prompts. We help you get unstuck with content. We have cohorts where we talk about how to build your community. We have cohorts about how to start your podcast and launch it. And then you have a chance to just network with other coaches. And for $19.99, you're not missing out. And I'm going to just say this since we're going at it. We're going to make this group one of the best groups ever. If you want to join, contact me, drewcost.com, or I'll put a link in the show notes. Other than that, guys, go be great.